Hey everybody, welcome. I was coming to you on this very cool Alabama day, but it is very pretty. But it is very chilly. To talk to you guys, I went to my endocrinologist yesterday. But before that, I went to my primary care manager because I'm still very sick. My turbinates are so swollen he could not look down into my nostril. He couldn't see anything. His exact words were, "I can't see a damn thing in your nose. Not a damn thing. I cannot see down in it on the right side." So we were talking, and I'm just frustrated. I feel bad. And the reason I look hellacious today is because I have had a time. The only thing besides surgery that any doctor, that we haven't tried is steroids, which, as anyone who's diabetic knows, you're not supposed to take steroids because they'll jack up your blood sugar. Well, I've never had steroids. I've never taken, being so brittle, nobody would even attempt to try with me. So I talked to him, my primary care manager, and he agreed reluctantly to put me on them because I'm not getting better and I can't breathe. And after seeing my nose, he's like, you have a very bad infection. Your turbinates are so swollen I can't see down in there. Your ears are red. He didn't say anything about my left nostril, which I'm not having trouble breathing out of or anything like that. But then he gave me prednisone, and the directions are, I only take it in the morning, not 3 times a day like that, so it can mimic my natural steroid, my body's natural, we produce steroids in our body at certain times naturally. So when I take it in the mornings, it will go along with that and not try to shock my system so much. But I will tell you, I think it is the best thing that we did. I've only been on them this will make the 3rd day, but I had to take them. He said, I only want you to take them in the morning except for this first dose. When you get it, I want you to take it immediately. Well, that was about 1 o'clock when I got it, and I took it on the way home, and it took me about 30 minutes to get home, and probably about 2-3 hours after that, my blood sugars went up, and it was very hard for me to get them down. I was taking 5 and 6 units, but I was doing it in small increments instead of like just doing one unit. I do like a half a unit of insulin, or at a time, to see how it does. And it wasn't until right before I went to bed that I was able to get it lower than 300. Then it went down, and it was great. Woke up yesterday morning, and it was actually low. It was probably about 90 something, and I start shaking and stuff when it's about 90. If it gets to 70 or below, and sometimes it does, 40 something, it's gotten to 20 something before. If that happens, I'm kind of incoherent. But it was very good yesterday morning, and I went to my endocrinologist, who again is an asshole. I was telling him about that, which I thought it was great that I had that appointment right after this so I could talk to him about it. Well, he is just like, very condescending. He didn't like that my doctor gave me steroids, and I said, well, would you like for me to not take it as much, or not take, whatever. I said, but it has helped. My face is not quite as swollen. I said, my nose is not, right now I'm outside, so it's like, I'm a little feel congested, but it's more stuffy, not snotty. Sorry, it was freaking cold outside, so I had to come in. I didn't want to stay out there too long, being sick too. But I was talking about my nose feeling more, stuffy than snotty. But anyway, and he was like, no, he's the, if the expert thinks that you need, I said, you're the expert. He's a primary care manager. And I did it just like that. You're the expert in diabetes. You're the endocrinologist. So I would think what you say would go more than him. Not now, I don't. And he was like, your blood sugars are going to go real high. And I'm like, yeah, I'm very aware. I said, but I was on them. I said, I've been up all night long, which I said they went down. They were a lot better, but I meant they went down about 5 o'clock yesterday morning. I was up all night long, but once I got them down, they were good. I mean, literally good till I got home about 3 o'clock. And then they started going up because that's, I guess, when the prednisone started really peaking or whatever. And so it took, I'd gotten them down, and then we ate, which I ate some egg drop soup. I did eat some of the crunchy noodles, but I mean, not much. And I took a crap ton of insulin, okay? And it shoots up, almost 300 and something. And it won't go down, and I'm giving insulin. I go in, switch to a temporary basal rate on my Omnipod Dash, and up the basal rate. I up the dosage and up the percentage that it gives me. I'm still taking Humalog, but I did, when I went in there to talk to my endocrinologist, get him to give me a prescription for, all right, I'm not going to say this right, so don't come for me. Lumjev. That's right, Lumjev. It came out about 2 years ago. It's the fastest acting insulin out there, and it's actually the same as Humalog, but they have an added ingredient in it that causes you, it opens up your blood vessels, and you're able to absorb the insulin like soup, like where you have to pre-bolus with Humalog at least 30 minutes prior to you eating, sometimes an hour. And it will lower your blood sugars maybe 20 units, 1 unit will lower your blood sugar maybe 50 points. I'm being very generous with that number. Actually, probably like 20 points, maybe 15. And that takes a while. Like it, you'll take it before you eat. And what if your food doesn't come? What if you didn't eat as much? You know what I mean? But that insulin's still in there. So you can actually take this right at mealtime. Or 20 minutes after mealtime, or 20 minutes after you started eating. And I saw some research and some studies on, sorry, my dog's over here being an ass. Where it, started working within less than 10 minutes, and dropped. I think it was like, the blood sugar was 184 within 10 minutes of taking insulin for, corrective insulin for that. It dropped it 40 points. So it is potent, it works fast, and it gets out of your system a little quicker too, so it's not lingering effects, because the goal is to keep your blood sugars from spiking so high. Your blood sugars go up after you eat. Anybody who's not diabetic, it does, but they don't like skyrocket to 200 and something. They will go up some, and then their insulin comes out. So I've even done a temporary basal rate and upped the dosage of the basal for every hour and the percentage. So like I've done it like 75% more, or whatever. I don't really understand that percentage crap, but whatever, I did it and it works. Like right now I have suspended my insulin because my blood sugar is 119. Well, it was 123 and it was kind of steady, but then it started going down to 119. So I just stopped my insulin. Instead of having to switch back and forth temporary basal rates, I just stopped it for 30 minutes and it's still going down. So I stopped it for an hour and I'm going back in there and checking. I've got my Dexcom. But anyway, sorry, I digress. But I was telling you about him, and he was just being a big Richard dick. Anyway, and just very condescending. I mean, I think I've been a diabetic longer than he's been a doctor for diabetes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just cracks me up. Anyway. And then he says he's going to give me, I'm like, I'm asking him questions. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to get his opinion on these things. I want him to help me. And he's like, I'm like, can you help me? I mean, a sliding scale, something. But I didn't want that because they say sliding scales they are not accurate. They don't. It's better, but it's not good, but it's better if you're in hospital and they do that where they're giving you IV than it is for you to do it, because it doesn't take into account your weight, your stress level, your exercise, the type of food you're eating. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be that accurate, but he did do it. And then I went back to this morning to another study that showed different than the sliding scale he gave me. And I mean, I don't at all have faith in him at all. I basically go to him now just so I can have insulin. That's it. I mean, really. But then, and he's a big get immunizations for every freaking thing. I mean, everything. Hepatitis, immunization. You need, what is it? I forget, and then pneumonia, all this kind of crap. Of course, the flu shot, the blah, blah. But the big thing was, and I said, I was very polite until I wasn't. I mean, not that I was never not polite, but I mean, till I was tired of his shit. And and I don't feel good. And he is absolutely no help whatsoever. The one person who should be. And then he starts going, have you gotten your immunizations? And I said, no, I never get them, y'all. I mean, I'm just sorry. I don't get them. Everything affects me so badly. I mean, I'm not lying. I don't get them. I don't need a shingles vaccination. I had, and they said, well, even if you had one, you didn't have very many, pox from chicken pox, what I had 2 here and here. I'm not gonna get the shingles, and if I do, then I'll just have to take something for them. I know they're horrible. My husband got them, but he also had a very bad case of chicken pox. So I've never had trouble with shingles. I don't foresee me having trouble with shingles, but if I do, I'll go back in there and tell him I'm still not taking the damn shingles immunization. So there. But then he goes, and I'm sure you can imagine what I'm fixing to say. He says, well, have you got the COVID shot? And I said, and I said, no, I haven't. And he, you should have seen his face. I mean, it was just disgust in his face. And so there was disgust in mine. Except mine's more a little bit of smart assy, because I just kind of smile and I said, no. I said, I don't want to lie to you. I don't do that. I don't get the flu shot. I've never gotten the flu. I've never had the flu shot. I have never had COVID this entire time, and I rarely wear my mask unless I'm at the doctor, and I'm not at the doctor all the time, so I never wear my mask. And I say all this to him, but I mean, I'm being nice, but I mean, he's being ugly, and I'm starting to get, a little cocky smile on my face, because I'm trying to damper it down, because I do not feel good. And he doesn't realize the severity of all the crap I've gone through. And he doesn't care. So, he says, why have you not? You're not, you don't trust the experts. The experts say you're supposed to have it. And I said, and I just shook my head. I mean, it's kind of like that. I wasn't being ugly. And then he goes, you don't trust the experts? You just choose to do what you want? And I just kind of looked, and he wasn't looking at me. And he goes, so, you don't trust the experts? And I could not hold it in anymore. You think I would have lost my crap and yelled at him and stuff? Y'all, I started laughing so hard I couldn't stop. I literally couldn't stop laughing. It was uncontrolled, kind of like this, because I thought, have you not been watching the news? Even very, very, very liberal news stations are talking about how the government and the scientists have lied, gone back on Fauci's lied. All this kind of stuff. And he's asking me if I trust the experts. That would be a negative, Ghost Rider. I do not. Especially when it comes to my health. No, because all they are experts in line. Now, if you got the shot, I'm proud for you. I don't hold anything against you for that. But the fact that I didn't take it because stuff like that doesn't do me very well, and you would think that my doctor would know that. But he's like, well, and I couldn't quit laughing. I literally couldn't. Thank God I was laughing, because that really did make me laugh. You don't trust the experts? And I started laughing. Well, he got pissed. He goes, no, you just want to do what you want to do. And I said, well, yeah. I said, I don't think it would be very helpful. And if I'm going to get it, I'd rather get natural immunity to it. Oh, shit. It was as if I kicked him in the balls and slapped his mama twice. He was so insulted. Everybody, I just want to give you a little heads up. Natural immunity is always better. Always better. Always better. I would probably die from the flu, the actual flu, before I would die from COVID. Now, not to say people haven't died. I'm not saying that, and it's awful. But they were already on they had a mortality. They either they were obese or they had severe heart problems and already had severe lung problems and things like that. And a lot of people died of the flu before they realized that the flu would cause a positive COVID test. And I haven't had the flu, and they've tested me. And so, he was just really pissed. It didn't matter. I wasn't going to get the shot regardless of what he said. I wasn't going to get any shot, though. It wasn't just COVID. I'm not getting any of those. I've had all the immunizations I'm going to get. Mm-hmm. And, he was just really ugly, and all I could do was laugh. Thank you, 6 pounds, 8 ounce baby Jesus. Because I don't like being ugly, and I hate confrontation. If I have to do it, I will. But he is absolutely of no help to me. None. If my blood sugars are good, it's because I did it, and the good Lord. It's not because of him. But he did call in that prescription, but he was like, he didn't know anything. He was just like, yeah, it's just like Humalog. I said, no, it's not. I said, it is like Humalog, except it acts faster because of blah, blah, blah. No. I said, yes. I said, I got it from directly from the Diabetes Association, the one you're akin with. And that's exactly what it says. And it says that it's fantastic for, if you have a pump and kind of brittle, stuff like that. I said, but it has another ingredient in it that causes you to absorb it much quicker, and it acts much faster. It doesn't stay in the body as long. So, and he was just like, now this is my endocrinologist I'm having to tell this to, and this drug has been out for over 2 years. And he doesn't know, he knows about it, knows the name of it, but he doesn't know about it. That does not give me warm and fuzzies. But anyway, but he told me, he goes, I'm going to have to document that you won't take your immunizations. I said, okay. I said, you can put down there that I said I'm not taking those. Any of them. I said, that is okay. Please do that. Like that was gonna he was gonna bully me into taking it. Oh shit! Have we met? No, nay, nay. That is not happening. I mean, if I thought if I thought I really needed it, I would take it, y'all. I mean, I'm not, but I do not trust the experts. Our government, I don't trust them at all. So, I mean, all they've done is try to keep us at home and nobody go to work, and we become dependent upon them. So, no, I don't. You don't have to agree with me. I don't give two shits if you do or not. I'm just telling you the facts. And I would never mistreat you if you were not vaccinated. And I was. Or I don't mistreat people who are vaccinated and I'm not. I'm like, you're still catching it. And it does not make it easier. Tons of people are fully vaccinated and have caught it and have gotten horribly ill. So, but anyway, I digress. But I mean, I think it's very unprofessional and I don't really need him. I could get my primary care manager to give me my insulin, and I mean, I've done a better job of taking care of myself than he has. I really wish I could go back to my doctor in Mississippi. He was wonderful, very caring. He would tell me if he thought something would work. He would try to come up with the best answer he could. I never left out of there without an answer. And he would talk to my other doctors. He wanted to do that. That was his job. And so I would send, stuff to him. My doctor, does not do any of that. None of it. But I did get the insulin I wanted. I did get an idea of the sliding scale, which was wrong that he gave me, but I've gotten the right one, a better one, and then I put it in and all that kind of stuff. So right now, my blood sugars are good. They'll probably raise, though. Probably start to raise a little more after like 2 o'clock. But I will put the temporary basal rate on. And I'm watching it, like all the time, watching it. So, but what I wanted to come on here and tell you is sometimes you're going to have to take medicines that are going to affect your blood sugars, okay? And it was almost as if my doctor, he wanted to be so right that my blood sugars you're going to be 500, 600, blah, blah, blah. And they very well could do that. But they haven't, because I've been on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've even, I think I'm more resistant right now, being sick and all that, to insulin. So I have, done less carbs for 1 unit instead of like 11. 1 unit will cover 11 carbs. I've gotten it down to 9. 1 unit of insulin will cover 9 carbs, so I'm getting more insulin for the amount of carbs that I'm taking, and I also, the basal rate, and so I just want to come on here and just tell y'all that I don't, what, everybody, you do you, boo, you do you, but I would certainly hate for somebody to come on my channel and not want to listen to something I have to say about something I know about because I've gone through it, and right now, this particular thing, I am going through it, and because I don't do things like you. I'm not I don't have the COVID vaccine. I mean, my doctor literally was like, it's like he wants to prove me wrong, and I'm like, why would you want to do that? That could kill me. I mean, why? You're pissed because I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do to try to control this. I think he's mad because he's the one that didn't give me steroids or had control over that or whatever. I don't know. But I cried to my doctor, my primary care manager, and told him, thank you, that nobody has done anything to help me. Nothing. And it has helped with the swelling and all that. I mean, right now it's a little tight because, but I think the steroid hasn't peaked quite yet. So, but anyway, and I'm probably going to call that ornithologist and see if he can get me in early. If he can't, that's fine. But anyway, I just want to come on here and tell you guys, there are going to be times when you are going to have to take medicines. and it's a last resort. I mean, I have been sick for months, y'all. Months. This hadn't been like, and I'm also on another antibiotic. He put me on steroids and another antibiotic, and I was like, what about my resistance to the antibiotics? I've taken so many, and I'm worried about my kidneys. He goes, we have to do something. He goes, you have a bad infection. We have to do something. And I said, well, I wouldn't have asked about steroids if he goes, yeah, if it wasn't a last resort. He goes, and I wouldn't give them to you. He's like, I'm doing it still reluctantly, but I know we got to do something. So he goes, I'm trying to give it to you the best way I can to limit the amount of stress it's going to put on your blood sugars. And I appreciate it. And then it made me cry. And he doesn't ask me. They do. They asked me the last time I went in, a couple times before I hadn't seen him in a while, and they asked if I had taken the COVID vaccine, and I said no. And they asked me if I'd taken the flu shot, and I said no. And they were like, okay. There was no judgment. There was no anything. And he, by the way, did not make his staff take the vaccine. If they wanted to, they could. But he didn't make them do it. Just saying. So, anyway, I'm not trying to be ugly, and I'm not trying to get people to not take the vaccines, or any of them or not. I'm just saying, you do you, I'll do me. What's best for me? I know my body, So that's what I mean, and I come on here, I want to tell you guys about what's going on with me, and I'm going to tell you everything. So, and I'm going to suggest to you, if you have an endocrinologist who makes you feel uncomfortable, who truly does not help you, sends you out more confused than you did when you came in, and change doctors, just do it. Or get your medication through your primary care manager if you have a good relationship and you trust them. I mean, I'm serious. I'm telling you that because at this point, all he's doing is giving me cholesterol medicine and insulin. Oh, and he is, doing prescriptions for my pump, but my primary care manager can do that. All of that. He could even check my hemoglobin A1C and all that stuff. So that's all I would say. If you don't want to take vaccines, don't take them. If you want to take all of them, drop drawers and have them sticky. But it's your choice. It is not their choice. So whatever you want to do is what you need to do. And nobody should bother you because of that. Yay or nay. So just know that. No judgment here. I mean, I believe what I believe, but I'm going to do what's best for me. So, but I will tell you that sometimes you will have to take medicine that's going to mess your blood sugar up. And you have to learn how to work around it, So, sure, if you don't watch it and everything, yeah, you'll probably end up very damaged or possibly dead. But I have faith in you that you are smart enough to know that and that you will do your research. You're not an idiot. None of you are. If you're on this channel, you're not an idiot. You're fan-freaking-tastic. Okay? No matter where you come from, what you look like, your lifestyle, whatever, you're a diabetic and you're fantastic. You're too damn sweet is what it is. Too sweet. I know, because I'm the same way. So, that's all I got to say. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a even better weekend. Spend time with your family, friends, your boo. And remember, nobody makes it out of this life alive. Try to laugh. Please be sarcastic. And as always, be the reason somebody drinks today. I'll talk to you guys later.